The past couple days have been a mild headache, to say the least. So finally got the new ignition put in the car. Everything went a-okay with that. Ignition tumbler's nice and tight, works perfectly. Glove box key fits in and functions as it should. And I got the rest of the interior trim, at least on the driver's side, put back together. And went to go start the car. Started up fine after I adjusted my clutch, the secondary clutch position sensor. And took off down the block and made it to about a block away from the house. And the car completely lost power to the fuel pumps. The Holly had no power whatsoever. The intercooler pump still had power, but we had absolutely no power anywhere in the fuel system, no fuel pressure whatsoever. So you do the obvious rational thing is you check all the bulkheads, you check all of your grounds. Nothing was loose, nothing was wobbly, nothing was burned. The fuel pumps seemed fine. I mean, they'd always held great pressure. I mean, they're practically brand new. And then I started digging into the factory electrical system, checking all the relays. All the relays were functioning and good. No blown fuses or anything. By that time, my friend John, who lives just down the street from me, about 2 blocks away, he showed up. Him and his girlfriend, they showed up and they helped me push the car back. So, John, if you see this, thank you. Well, him and I did a little roadside diagnosis, tried to see if we could get the fuel pumps to run, but to no avail. So after John and Jenna helped me push this back, along with a very nice random guy who was driving down the street with his girlfriend or somebody, I ended up getting a hold of the local speed shop, Scram Speed, that did all the wiring on the car. I asked him for some tips and tricks, since I'm more familiar with the factory wiring on these cars than I am with the Holly wiring, because I was not seeing the lights that you should see on a Terminator when it has correct power to it, both fused and grounded power to it, like you'll see in this video. So, Mr. Kevin Oviedo of Scram Speed, one of the guys at the shop there, he was kind enough to get back to me on a Sunday night, and he was probably trying to spend time with his family, so A+ customer service there, guys. Very, very thankful for that crew, but he explained to me that they had some issues in the past with Holly, the included wiring with the Terminator and the Dominator kits and the HP kits, where either the injector harness, the sub-harness, breakout harness on each side, it will rub on the back of the cylinder head. Either that or it's a bad ground somewhere on the motor itself. Either that or they've had issues in the past with more Holly quality control. I'm not going to say that this was a Scram Speed issue at all. I don't think that they're at fault for it personally. That's my opinion, because I've always had phenomenal experience with those guys. But I ended up checking the separate 30 amp fuse back there for the Terminator, along with the relay for it. The relay was functioning. We confirmed that that was functioning. I pulled the fuse, and the fuse looked, I mean, there was no rusted prongs on it. The female side of the connector looked fine. But the fuse wasn't blown either. The fuse was completely fine. It looked like it just came out of a box. And I put it back in and just hopped back in the car out of an inkling, double checked all the bulkheads on that, and I ended up getting power, like you saw in that video in the middle of this. So now the car is back up and running. So that was an annoying 2-week struggle with the ignition, delays on parts, things not showing up on time, and then between that and work, randomly having this small break in it. I've had some more time, obviously with the help of John and Jenna, helping me get the car back here now that it's running again, which is very nice. So have been talking with Rashawn of Boost District, so I'm gonna actually be placing an order hopefully tomorrow, at the time of this going up, that we'll start getting parts here on the way to make this little dude spin faster. So I did contemplate for a short second about doing the Gen 2, which is more of an LSA style head unit, but I think this will more than suffice a legitimate 4-digit street car with the right pulley setup on it. I'm not short of fuel. I mean, I'll need different injectors, but everything from injector back, or from behind the injectors all the way back to the cell, I've got plenty of fuel system for this, so excited to see what happens this winter.